All right. Hello, You Can Heal family. Welcome back to another live Tuck in Time with me. I am Coach Shena Major, and we are going to be continuing on in chapter 13 and finish it tonight. And the title of the first section is Forget the Dumb Stuff. So we're going to figure out what that's all about. But we left off last time, when we were learning about taking risks, being adventurous, and TD Jakes used the analogy of, don't hang on to the edge of the pool. You've got to get out there and actually try to swim in order for things to change in your life. So that's where we left off. Tuck in Time is all about me reading books to you that I use to help me on my healing journey, and this was one of them. So we're moving right along here. We're almost done with this particular book, and then we'll see what we're going to be reading next. But right now, we're in this moment and this particular time on this particular day, and I'm happy to be with you and to have you with me. So let's get started. The chapter's not that long because we read the other half the last time that we had our talking time. So we're going to finish this chapter tonight. All right, so here we go. Forget the dumb stuff. I've become increasingly concerned over a societal trend that can be best described as a dumbing down of ideas. The acquisition of knowledge seems to have little value or meaning. The time, energy, and money spent on parole celebration, as opposed to graduation parties, is evidence of this. Okay, so now comparing parole celebrations to graduation parties. The reality genre of television has led to a dumbing down of entertainment. We expect less from television and the people who appear on it, and the craft and skill of acting and long hours of training and sacrifice by actors are devalued in the face of the new reality stars. We dumb down information to a 140 character tweet on Twitter, or a brief Facebook post, or a seconds long YouTube video. The knowledge you need for destiny won't come in a tweet or any social media post. You won't see it on Instagram. So interesting. Now, when he was talking about the reality TV, I used to love that reality TV and those housewives of Atlanta. But then I realized, after a while, I was like, no, these black ladies, these black women are acting a little bit like wild. Like we work so hard to like not do that. So I don't know. I don't really watch anymore, but if you want to know, I really enjoy like action shows and action movies and stuff like that. So that's just kind of my thing. But I think what Mr. Jakes wants us to realize is, you know, everything here is quick. A quick post, a quick this, a quick that. It says destiny's knowledge comes to those who are properly positioned to learn. The classroom, your mentor, your current job, volunteer work, the skills, tools, and wisdom you will need to move ahead in life come through time and persistence. It's not just quick. And even if you have a social media or you're growing it, it's not quick. It's not quick. It's going to take a little effort, a little planning, a little time. I think some people progress quickly because they have maybe more energy or more time to invest, but it all depends on seasons. Everybody's different, so don't compare what you're trying to do to someone else, and don't try to be like anybody else. Just come on these platforms and be yourself and do your very best. Amen. The expression "I know just enough to be dangerous" indicates superficial knowledge. Such knowledge gives you a false sense of comfort about your ability to address a situation. Our society today seems to specialize in knowing just enough to be dangerous. We rely on snippets of information rather than a true pursuit of knowledge. We live in a fast culture and we like to get everything fast. Proprietary schools and online colleges often advertise to appeal to a person's desire to get an education fast. All knowledge doesn't come fast. All knowledge doesn't come fast. Gaining knowledge is like the recipe to your grandmother's stew. You slowly add ingredients and give them a chance to simmer and blend to enhance their collected flavor. Settling for dumbed down information is like feeding yourself from vending machines when you could be feasting on grandma's stew. And that is a big difference. My daughter plays volleyball, as most of you know, and one of the girls from the team, and sometimes a couple, but one particular comes over, after school before practice or before they catch the bus for a match. And today she went right upstairs. They did their homework or whatever. And they were getting ready to leave. I'm like, hey, you didn't eat anything. She's like, oh, no, I'm not hungry. And I'm like, well, you can have this soup real quick or whatever. But she's like, no, I'm going to get a pickle out of the vending machine. I said, what? A pickle out of the vending machine? That to me was like the last straw. Like, I cannot imagine what that tastes like. So maybe someone on here has had a pickle out of a vending machine, but she really loves them. And that's what she was going to eat before their practice. So, yeah, I can't do it. I don't think I could do it. I don't think I can do it. All right, now where am I? Let's see. Grandma's stew. Oh, I did it again. And I have my little highlighter marker here. And I didn't mark where I left off. So hold on. Okay. True knowledge requires an in-depth absorption of information gained over time. With knowledge, it's hard for anyone to shake you. You can stand on your decisions and have less fear about moving forward toward the future. Seek knowledge for the sake of enlightenment and destiny. It takes courage to be knowledgeable in a world that dumbs down information. You run the risk of being told you've forgotten where you came from, but you can't forget where you came from because you lived there and it is your base of knowledge for all that you learn. If you grew up in an abusive home, you know that it was not pleasant. As you gain knowledge about how people relate in healthy households, what you learn is reinforced by your experience growing up. What you learn is reinforced by your experience growing up. Knowledge beyond your present parameters is the entree to your future. Knowledge beyond your present parameters is the entree to your future. So that's like, if we don't step out and do something different, our future is going to look the same if we keep doing the same thing. So we have to step out beyond what we know and cross that parameter. Hi, Lisa. Hi, Acacia. So that's really good. Start reading journals and blogs and books that you've never read before. Go places you've never gone so that when God opens the door, you're not trying to get ready. Be ready. Ready. Be ready. Be ready. Maybe you don't like hockey, but it won't hurt to expose yourself to a game. And maybe you don't like ballet or hip hop music, but exposure to it will help you broaden your base of knowledge. Now, this is good. We've got to be exposed to things. And, like on my healing journey that I've been on, I've exposed myself to mainly and, mostly being courageous and fearless and more confident because those are things I wasn't those things. But like trying out different things is something that I really need to do more. Like sports, I love sports. I'll play any sport. I'll go to any sporting event. But just like, okay, a simple thing, like with food, I've never had sushi because the way it looks to me is weird. Now, if you're a sushi lover, that's great. And, maybe it does taste really good, but the little black things, it kind of looks like bugs to me. So, oh my gosh, I've never had it. And, maybe I need to stop this nonsense and just try, right? But this is what he's saying, like just in the little things, expose ourselves to just little things, and then we can broaden our horizon. We can go further than what we just know. So Lisa loves sushi. I just wonder how it tastes. I might have to try that. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I was supposed to go on this live at 10 o'clock. So it was about, honestly, to be honest, it was about 10:08. And then I sat down and I had no charge on the computer. It was like dead. I had no microphone and I had no water with me. So once I ran around and got all those things, the computer would not start. I said, my goodness, I thought I was going to be on time tonight. And then I just sat there and the computer just kept spinning. I said, Lord Jesus. So, yeah, that's what happened. I just can't eat it anymore since I found out. I was like, oh, you're allergic to it. Oh, dear. Well, don't eat it then. I remember you saying that once, I think with the Senta, and you were out to dinner. Was it your sister? Well, I'm glad you didn't eat it. Yeah, don't do that. You don't want to purposely cause problems for yourself if you know something can be avoided, right? So the next section here says, feed your mind's cravings. Destiny requires mental preparation. So absorb information and knowledge like a pregnant woman eats. You know how pregnant women get a craving for strange stuff that doesn't make sense to anyone else? When you're pregnant with destiny, you start craving things that your best friend doesn't understand. But just because your bestie doesn't understand it, doesn't mean that you're not moving in the direction God would have you to go. That's a pretty good analogy. I know when I was pregnant, I craved weird things. They were basic things, but they were weird things. One of my kids was Jello, and the other one was orange juice. Like I would just drink so much orange juice and eat so much Jello. So yeah, that's good. Your cravings for knowledge may even cause you to lose some friends. When you concentrate on destiny knowledge and become interested in new subjects and are not content to sit around talking about somebody else's clothes or relationship, some people are going to pull away from you. Relax. Your real friends will give you room to improve yourself because they're trying to improve themselves too. And now that's real good. That's real good. If you're trying to further yourself and be better, if these are real friends, they're not gonna they're not gonna get mad at you for trying to be a better person, and they're not gonna, talk junk about you. They'll be happy for you. But sometimes we have to leave people behind. We just do. There's no way around it because if we choose to keep holding on to people that are hindering us, we can't get better because we spend so much energy and we may not even be aware of it on that person that we know we need to let go of, trying to fix them or save them or help them or listen to them all the time. There's just some kind of drama attached to it, and we've got to get that courage to step away from things that aren't serving us or people that aren't serving us anymore. Hi, Tracy Ann and Acacia. I think I said hi to Acacia already. Increased knowledge can grow you to the point where you tire of people who think in a box. You look at your best friend since kindergarten and wonder what happened to them. Nothing happened to him. Something happened to you. He is still Pookie, who works long enough to earn a pack of cigarettes, a half tank of gas, and some hamburger money. Pookie, oh God, Pookie. Pookie calls you a slave because you're dedicated to your job at a moving company. Man, all you talk about is that break your back job. Pookie doesn't understand that you're gaining knowledge, learning all you can about the moving business because you realize you won't be young forever. And by the time you get too old to move furniture, you want to own your own moving company. What happened? Pookie is where he's always been, and you've been growing. The more you, yeah, Pookie, I haven't heard that since the last time I read this book. It's hilarious. Now, what's so funny? Let me talk about my ex husband for a minute because we had gone to his hometown and I met his cousins. And listen, there were names I've never heard of, like just all kinds of names. Like none of them were real names, but everybody had a name. I was like, what is happening? And Pookie seems mild, but there are all these cousins and they had all these names that I don't know. I didn't grow up around all my cousins and stuff, so that was a little different for me. And it still makes me laugh today when I'm hearing them in my head as I'm talking to you. So, the more you learn and are exposed to new things, the harder it is to stay in the same circles. As you expand in knowledge, you will look back and wonder how you were ever satisfied with the football game, the fellas, a pack of cigarettes, and a six-pack of beer to wash down your hot dogs. Knowledge pulls you away from that into a larger arena. Sure, you'll still enjoy a football party with the boys, but it's no longer what you lived for. You know there's more. Yeah, and don't we all want that? We want more. We've got to start like acting like how we want to live and going places like that represent who we want to be. And that's something that I need to do more of too, like finding things in just my own city to expose myself. And I was even thinking about Bren because we had gone. Blessing had her senior pictures. If this is your first time listening, Blessing's my daughter. And she had her senior picture retake on Sunday, this past Sunday. And the place we went's called the High Falls, right here in my city. And I had never been there. Now, shame on me. Okay. But it was really beautiful. And Bren ended up dancing on the bridge. And the photographer gave us a history lesson. And it was a really neat spot. And I guess they do like laser beam shows every Thursday night and stuff like that. So just exposing yourself to new things. Now, what I found interesting, and I made this connection, is when you're in a place where now I'm getting hot, where you're always like dealing with pain and, you know, just trying to like survive and just trying to make it, you miss out on so many things. So I was thinking about that with Bren. I mean, blessings on the way out the door, but like with Bren, there's so many things now that I'm in a healthier place and, my mind is healing and all that, that I'll be able to do more of this stuff with her and expose her to different things, even just in our area. So, don't resent the fact that you missed out on a lot because you were dealing with nonsense. Just, God will redeem that time and you can start tomorrow, right? Never too late. So let me get some water. I really like doing the live tuck-in times, and I like it at 10 o'clock because I really hope people are getting ready for bed and falling asleep to something good. Because that was another big thing for me, is finding something to put in my spirit before I went to bed. But I do get sleepy, like I'm tucking myself in right now. But that's okay. So just bear with me because we're in this together, You Can Heal family. If you're listening, we're in this together. I'm not alone, right? We're not meant to be alone. So that's all right. So the next section is inquiring minds want to know more. Yes, we're in this together. Are you willing to explore your mind, Acacia? Are you willing to explore your mind, Tracy Ann? Are you willing to explore your mind, Lisa Smiles? Are you courageous enough to venture out and learn what people do not know? Are you willing to dust off the unused crevices in your brain to gain knowledge? Oh, that's so good. The unused crevices in your brain. Like, how much of our brain are we not using because we've been stuck in a pattern or doing things the same old way all the time? We need to stop this, right? We need to use those unused crevices. That's funny to me. Maybe because I'm getting sleepy. Destiny's coursework can be a bit challenging. There's no syllabus and teachers. Oh God, I read that wrong. There's no syllabus and the teachers. Oh God. Hello, Lisa and Tracy Ann. Okay, in case you're saying hi. Let me just stop for a minute because I'm really tired. Now, Lisa smiles. Let me just have a chat with you. You complimented my hair, and I appreciate that. But listen, this hair is giving me grandma vibes. And I'm going to be a grandma, and I'm happy about that. But I don't know. I think my hair, I'm talking about hair, I think I need to stretch my hair before I try to activate it with any curls because, yeah, I think that's what I need to do. So I use that good new blow dryer on my daughter. I'm going to try it out on myself soon. Yeah, I see crevices. That is a funny word, isn't it? Crevices in your brain. Destiny's coursework can be a bit challenging. There's no syllabus, and the teachers may look unqualified. Gain knowledge from unlikely sources. Someone you eschew as insignificant may teach you destiny's greatest lessons. Learn something from the great aunt you think can't possibly know anything because she's old and unenlightened. Let the 4-year-old who lives next door share a simple truth that enlightens you. The homeless man who perches himself on the bench outside your office every day can drop science on you if you are learning the ways of destiny. Oh, that's good. That's good. You guys don't look at someone else and think they have nothing to teach you. Don't do that. The first reason is, you can be entertaining angels unaware. The other thing is don't think so highly of yourself because pride comes before the fall. So we can always learn something from other people. I learn stuff from my daycare kids all the time. And the main thing I learn is that these kids just want to be heard and cared for and listened to. And I have the one little girl, and she's 3. God bless her, Miss Bossy Pants. Okay, she will she will let you know something real quick. And a lot of times, the funny thing about her is she makes a lot of sense. She makes a lot of sense, but it's like my goodness. But yeah, she'll let you know. So don't be afraid to learn from people who don't look like you. Don't be afraid to do that. All right. Knowledge comes, did I just read that? Knowledge comes from all types of people and sources. Open your mind to opportunities to gain knowledge and take the time to engage with those who don't look like you or think like you or act like you. They can prove to be your life's greatest teachers. Let your quest for knowledge take you places you've never gone. So when God opens the door to destiny, that you've always wanted to enter, you'll be prepared. Yeah, we've got to be prepared, and we can't be prepared if we're doing the same old thing all the time. We've got to break out, right? And use those unused crevices in our brains. As I said earlier, distinguishing God's responsibility from our own is hard because that divine human partnership is tough to figure out. We all work at finding that balance of doing all we can and waiting for God to work on the rest. Seeking knowledge is what we do while we wait for God. Wait time is precious time. When we're preparing ourselves with knowledge while we wait, we're not bored or impatient or hopeless. We're learning. This is so good. This is so good. Keep learning as we're going. Like, yeah, keep learning as we're going. So we're prepared for that big thing that's coming. Oh, that's good. So yeah, just gain knowledge. So when we get to like where we want to be, right? We're really super duper prepared. While you're waiting on the career change, get all the knowledge you can about the profession. While you're waiting on the spouse, get all the knowledge you can about being a better you. While you're waiting on the financial breakthrough, get all the knowledge you can about managing money and assets so you'll be ready. Now, this is a good one, and this is what I'm trying to work on. It's so funny how, like, when you put a lot of time in working in one area of your life, now all the others that I need to work on are super magnified. But that's good. That's good. Whatever you're waiting for destiny to deliver, knowledge will take and keep you there. While you're waiting on the doors to open, be curious and use your time to get the knowledge you need to handle the new arena destiny is beckoning you to enter. And you know what? Until and this just came to me, until we take that new step and dust off those crevices in our brain and try new things, maybe like Lisa says, the Lord's not going to move in your life until we try that thing. It's the opposite of the world, right? We've got to have that faith to go forward first, and then things can happen. Sometimes we want to find out what's going to happen before we move. And we started on the study with me, Exodus today, which will come out at 7 tomorrow morning. And such a good read on that first lesson, because it talks about, the Israelites in the Red Sea, and just how they had to move first before, like, it opened up. Like, they just had to have the faith and the courage that they were going to get across that water. They're like, there's a lot of water there. How are we going to, get away? And you just have to take that step, and God will clear the path. And we've got to try new things and gain new knowledge so we can be ready for what God has. He's beckoning you to enter into destiny. All right, there's one more little paragraph here. Your mind must remain open to exposure, which comes in many forms beyond your environment, your friends, and especially your comfort zone. Oh, that's so true. Condition your mind to be curious about what life has to offer. I need some water. Hold on. Be curious about other cultures, their family dynamics, their languages, their cuisine, and their faith. Allow your curious mind to wander into new places destiny opens to you. Exposure opens your mind to ideas that never could have bloomed in your head. Destiny's pursuit is going to put you in unfamiliar spaces, and with each new experience, God is whetting your appetite for your next step toward destiny, exposing you to what you will need and enjoy in your future. In your future, destiny is exposing you to what you will need and enjoy in your future. That's cute. I remember being younger. My mom had like a zillion architectural digest magazines. Does anybody remember those? And I remember being younger and just thumbing through them all and looking at all the neat stuff in there. And that's a good way to expose our minds. If you can't travel or get anywhere because of life situations, you can always pick up a magazine, and pick up a magazine that's something that's different from what you normally read, and we can expose ourselves to new things that way. So that's what I thought of when I was reading this last section. Use a magazine to help expose your mind, and look at the pictures and read. It's a little less daunting maybe than a book, because there's a lot of pictures in magazines. So find a magazine about different cultures, different foods, different customs, whatever, and enjoy that. So that's really good. Before I stop reading, I had something happen today with my mom, and I took Brent to ballet, and I was walking on the canal. Well, actually, I started off Okay, let me give the whole story. You want the whole story while you're falling asleep? I took Bryn to ballet and I left the house without my water bottle. And I'm like, I won't go back for my phone. I mean, sometimes it will. I have kids, if they need me, but I really could care less. But like my water bottle, when I leave that at home, that bothers me. So I left it at home. So I took Brenda ballet and they just rebuilt the Burger King near her ballet class. So I said to Brenda, well, I'll just stop over there at the Burger King and get some water. So I'm on the phone with my mom and I'm in the line. I'm like, well, are they just going to let me get water? She's like, well, maybe if you go in, you can't go through the drive through and not order. I said, well, I'm not getting out of the car. I'm at the drive through. So I ended up, now keep in mind, I'm going to go take my walk and I needed to buy something. So I bought cookies at the drive through and I got my water. And I said, well, I'm talking to my mom and I'm like, well, I can eat the cookies as I'm driving over to the park for my walk and then I can burn off the calories. So I sure did. I ate those 2 cookies and I got a huge water and I finished all the water too. So to make myself feel better, and this is how our brain works, this is what we do to make myself feel better, knowing I have bad knees, right? I decided that I'm going to run because I ate those cookies and I wanted to really burn them off. So I started running on my walk on the canal. And it felt really good because I used to run a lot and I really can't that much anymore. And it really did. My heart rate got going and it just felt really good. So I was running and then, I ran as much as I could because I couldn't take it anymore. And then I just finished my walk, but I walked at a faster pace, which was really interesting because my heart rate was up and I liked that feeling. I wanted to keep it up. So I walked a little faster tonight, and that was good this evening. But the point of the story I wanted to make, and I don't really think it ties into this, but it's on my heart, so I'm just going to share it because it was a good lesson. I was walking back from the walk, and I was listening to R.C. Blake's, and he was talking about um, how to find a good relationship or, something like that. It's one of his most recent ones. And he was saying a lot of us pick people based on our flesh and how they look and stuff. So it reminded me of something. So I called my mom to have a good laugh because if anybody looked at my history of Trekman, like, I don't know, maybe you'd be surprised, right? And so we just got to laughing about that. But then we were just talking some more, and I was sharing with my mom because my heart was open. I just got my adrenaline up. I was running. I was feeling great. So I decided to share something with her about my personal life or whatever. Listen, listen. I set myself up again, ladies. And if there's any gentlemen listening, and I had to learn that people are who they are. Now, we're having a great mother and daughter moment, and my mom and I, if you've been listening to my channel for a little bit, know a little bit about our relationship and how it's grown. But the things I was sharing, like the way she came back at me, it was like, ah! And I was like, oh dear, I'm just trying to have a mother-daughter moment. But what I had to realize in that moment, and we ended up having a really good talk, one, because I expressed, like, when I say something to you, this is what I'd like to hear. And she's like, well, I'm not like that. Now, this could have just been a whole back and forth thing. I could have shut down and then the relationship would have taken 20,000 steps back. But I had to realize, like, you can't get from people, even if it's a mother-daughter relationship, what you need if they aren't there, if they just do not have the capacity to do it. Now, does that mean she doesn't love me? No, she loves me, but she just thinks different than me. We're just so opposite. And either I was like, oh my God, my mom hurt my feelings again, or I'm just like, I accept my mom exactly for who she is, and I can't let what I need be put on her to give me, and she is not capable of doing it. And that's how we stay stuck a lot of times, you guys. And instead, I'm thankful for other people in my life who I could share personal information with, and without the rah, right. So I guess that's just what I wanted to share with you. Like, don't look for other people to understand you all the time or to have um, compassion or just that gentle, kind of listening ear, because some people aren't capable of it. They aren't. And especially when it's a relationship like this, and I just want my mom. Well, you have your mom, but just not in the way you want her, and you can't force your will on her. It just doesn't work. So, yeah, that's my little story. Unfortunately, we can't make people love us the way we want them to. Yeah, that's true. And it's not that she doesn't love me or people don't love us, but some people just aren't wired like we are. So, I'm a very like nurturing person, and I'm a I don't know if I would describe myself. I'm a sensitive person, and I can get my feelings hurt really easy. And my mom is not like that. So when you're sharing something from the heart with a person like that, you're most likely always setting yourself up for just like for your feelings to get hurt. And I had said something to her, and she was kind of like, "Oh, I resent what you just said." And I could tell she was getting a little, annoyed or escalating a little bit. And I had to just stop and just listen to what frustrated her about what I was saying I needed, because then it allowed me to feel um, what she what I feel about her not understanding me. It goes the same way, because she just wants to be accepted for who she is. And I said, well, sometimes, you know, you can't use the excuse, this is just how I am, mom. And that's what you're doing. Sometimes we can't do that. And that's what people will do, because you have to make a decision to want to try to be a little more compassionate, or to want to try to be a better listener or whatever. And some people will, but they can only do so much. And then we have to just accept that again. So there's these layers to this thing with relationships, especially with family members. And if you want the family member and to have relationships with family members, it's a real fine line. And that's why we have to have the Spirit of God in us. And I saw that in myself tonight with her, and just how the conversation ended up being really amazing and wonderful. And at the end, I heard her say to her new husband, well, I'm on the call with Shena, and I'm getting off my counseling call, my coaching call with her. So it's been flipping lately and turning around, and me being able to share some things with her and her hearing me. So anyway, I hope that helps someone tonight on this call, or someone who will listen to this later. But that was a big walk between the not having my water bottle and the cookies, and then running, and all that. So very interesting half an hour or so there. So yes, Tracy, and to God be the glory. God is real, you guys. He's alive as well and well. His spirit is moving, and he loves you. He loves you with an everlasting love, forever and ever, until the end of time. And when you think about that, we're here on this earth for a very, very short time. I know when we were reading Genesis, I was saying a lot like, I want to live to be 90, and I do. I want to live long to see my grandkids and things like that. But we're going to spend eternity with Jesus. Like, after we pass on, we're going to live forever with him. And that's amazing. So just keep that in mind as you're dealing with people, and don't take people too seriously. Like, don't, because it's not worth it. Just take a deep breath, feel your feet on the floor, ground yourself, and know you're okay, regardless of what anybody's doing or saying or how they're behaving. I'm okay. Tell yourself I'm okay. I'm okay. And yes, Lisa, I like cookies. And it was funny, because when I was in the drive-through at Burger King, they only give you two cookies in a pack. And I think the McDonald's cookies, and they give you three, and they're so much better. And yeah, McDonald's cookies are better than Burger King cookies to me. So if you wanted to know, that's my review. My first review. There you have it, you guys. My first review. All right. I'm laughing and cracking up. So, yeah, can't take people serious. Yep, I'm okay. You have to say that I'm okay. Let 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 people deal with themselves, and then they can decide if they want to get help or get better or learn to adjust some bad behaviors they have, or if they want to keep saying, I've always been this way, I'm never going to change. You can't force your will on anybody, and it's not worth it. It takes way too much energy. And listen, I need all the energy I can get. Amen. All right, my beautiful You Can Heal family. That's that. Lisa, I really enjoyed the rod setting tutorial. I never knew about placing it near the scalp and, the twisting and the smoothing. I mean, it was so much good information. And I shared that video right away because I understand that this is stuff you learned in school and people are getting this information at no charge. And we should share that. Y'all should have shared that video if you didn't share that video. You can go back and share that video. Go back and share little Lisa's video. She worked so hard standing on her feet. I'm telling you, I love it. It's so good. So good. So good. You are so welcome. All right, so the next time we have our tuck-in time, we're going to be doing chapter 14, and it's called Distractions Destroy Destiny. And I need that chapter because I don't get distracted so much by people, but just my thoughts, right? Can distract me. But today I did get some work done with my workshop that I'm going to do next Saturday, and got some stuff done with that. So that was good before I got on your live, Lisa. But yeah, distractions destroy destiny. And it says step away from what doesn't matter. So, get yourself all psyched up and ready for chapter 14 because that's going to be really good. Yeah, we said it at the same time. That's going to be really good. Let me look and see how long it is if we can do it in one reading. Oh, I got a lot of notes in this chapter. No, it's going to take a couple nights. It'll probably take 2 nights. So that'll be good. We'll read that. Now, tomorrow night, I probably won't read live for sure because it's the first sectional game. So I'll try to record it. I'll do one of them on a recording and maybe one of them live. We'll see. I don't know. Can't make any promises. Let the spirit lead me, right? So yeah, that's it. That's it, you guys. I love you. Sleep tight. Get your jammies on. Get cozy. Wrap your hair, everybody. Wrap your hair. Lisa, I think I'm going to have a new hairstyle tomorrow, or maybe put this up. And I wanted to add my hair. My hair feels a little crunchy. I don't even like the sound, so that bothers me too. But yeah, I do see the curl you're talking about. But the sound, why does it sound crunchy? Can you tell me that? Pray Blessing has a great game. Yeah, I really hope so. And it's so interesting because the regional game, because most likely they will win tomorrow, the regional game conflicts with the Boston senior trip. So it's like, do you play in the regional game or do you go to Boston that's mommy paid for and made a huge sacrifice? And I'm like, oh my gosh, I tell you, kids. So anywho, that's what's happening over here. All right, you guys, I love you. We will talk tomorrow. Always remember that true healing begins with self-love. Why? Because God is love and he lives on the inside of you. Oh, let me look at that comment. Too much product. Okay, that's good to know. Yeah, it's like a hard roll. Yeah, I could probably have this hairstyle for probably a week because I took my bonnet off this morning. I could probably have this hairstyle for like a week. It's so hard. All right. I thought the same thing, Lisa. Look at that. Tracy Ann is like your little virtual assistant. Okay. She knows so much about natural hair. Tracy Ann, that's real good. She listens and pays attention. And I know her hair is getting longer and stronger and even more beautiful. All right, ladies. Good night. I love you. Good night, Acacia, if you're still awake. Add some oil. I'll do that right now. You are learning from the best. Okay, add some oil with my bonnet and put on my bonnet. That's got to be what she means. Okay, I'm going to try that. All right, now listen. If you don't know who Lisa Smiles is, then you don't know what I'm talking about right now. Go to her channel and get the good information on the hair. Okay, so we're talking about some hair stuff. All right, I'm out. Love you guys. Bye.